I've had a lathe in my life since I was a kid, from seeing my grandpa use giant metal ones to having a decently sized one in my parents' basement growing up. I recently had a small lathe in my shop and I've used it in the past to make some chess pieces and have some fun with wood scraps. It was small, underpowered, and just not very useful. I asked WoodStarter.com if I could review their latest 1 HP 18-inch long by 12-inch diameter lathe, and they agreed to send me one for me to review. In addition to sending me the lathe, they sent me this Genmitsu 4-part carbide lathe set tool. I'm used to turning with stainless steel, but I'm super excited to give carbide a try as it stays sharp for a very long time and replacing the cutter heads is not super expensive. There's a big difference in using those two types of tools. As I get more comfortable using the lathe and gather experience, I'll probably do a video comparing the two types and where I prefer one or the other. I want to do everything here, from delicate and thin pen blanks, chess pieces from a paper template, and finally my favorite, bowls. With the 12-inch diameter capacity of this lathe and its 1 HP motor, it's more than capable at making hardwood bowls. I got some walnut, zebra wood, purple wood, and a few more cool species of wood at my favorite hardwood store. For pens and chess pieces, I prepared some blank, straight 1x1s and some 3/4 by 3/4 pieces. For bowls, I made some big blocks to make side grade bowls, meaning the grain goes along the side of the bowl instead of top to bottom like you'd often see using fresh wood. As a first test, I did what I already knew how to do, making chess pieces from square blanks. I started by printing the parts like this to scale and folded it over as such. This lets me draw on the blanks as the lathe spins, and I know where to stop and do my cuts. With carbide tools, there's much less technique involved in using them. You basically just point them at 90 degrees towards the piece, at or slightly under the center line. It's that simple. It can be a little dustier than using stainless steel tools, but at a fraction of the technique required. Here's a big maple pawn and a tiny purple heart rook that I'm making from the blanks I prepared to make pens. Using carbide tools, I can get most of the work done with the rough square one, making the slopes with the circle one, and all the sharp indents with the triangle one. I did not use the finishing square one yet as I don't have any long flat spots, where this is best used. That's basically all there is to using carbide tools. So far I love them. They might be a bit slower than the roughing gouge at removing mass material, but they sure make much easier to do and probably safer depending on your experience as they don't require any advanced technique to avoid catches and other issues. Once I'm done with the chess pieces, I sand them in order using this set of sanding paper I bought that goes from 150 grit up to 600 grit. Going through those in order gives you a super smooth finish on all the hardwood I've tested so far. Please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow and reach new people. Thanks to all subscribers. Now, before I get to pens, I want to spin some bigger things. And I've been eyeing those bowl blanks for a few days as I was waiting the delivery of the lathe. Right away, I just screw them into the headstock wheel centered and secure them on the headstock spindle securely with the hex key on the wheel. With my tool rest against the future bottom of my bowl, the first step is to get this thing spinning through, and I start by squaring off the bottom. I won't get into the tiny details of bowl making, which I will surely cover in more videos soon, as I gather experience to know what I'm talking about. But basically you start by spinning the outside of the bowl. Once your bowl is the shape you want and your bottom part is ready, the bowl is ready to be sanded. Same as with the chess pieces earlier, go through all the grits and then finalize with a coat of oil or whatever finish you want to give it. This gives you a nice preview of your bowl and shows you if there's any rough spots you need to rework. Once that's done, take it off the lathe and unscrew the headstock wheel. The bowl is now ready to be flipped around and worked on its inside. For this you need a chuck like this, which WoodStarter also sells, but it doesn't come with the lathe. I'll leave links to both in the description if you're interested into finding out more about them. This chuck I already had from my previous lathe. Taking off small layers at a time, I cut out the insides using the roughing tool, moving my tool rest to go inside the bowl as I remove more and more material. You can easily feel how thick the bowl is with your hands with the lathe stop, so just keep going until it's how you want it. Once that's done, do the same thing as earlier, all the grits, then a finish, and that bowl is done. Here's a few bowls I've worked on. I think they look great, especially the walnut one, my favorite one personally. Now for the next part, this is something entirely new to me, but I wanted to discover with this lathe, making pens. To do this, I had to purchase this pen blank holding kit, which is pretty cheap on Amazon, as well as pen parts, which are all the visible metal parts you already know about pens, the ink, and 2 copper tubes, which you'll see here how they are used. I start by drilling my blanks, which are to be barely longer than the copper tubes, but exactly the same size hole. Having a drill press like this makes this super easy. Next, I glue the copper tubes with super glue so that they're entirely inside the wood. Once that is dry, I sand them flush until you can see the shiny copper, meaning you sanded some of it off. This is where the tool I showed you earlier comes up, keeping this snug and where you want it. To turn pen blanks, I start with the roughing tool until it's round, but then I switch to the smoother tool as this will get very thin and I don't want to break it. Turn until you're the size of the pen model you want. In my case, the metal ring is the exact size I need. Same as earlier, sand them in order. Lots of people finish those pens with some form of super glue that you put many layers of. To keep it simple for this video, I'm using quick dry polyurethane, which will give it a bit of a plastic feel. Here's my 2 favorite pens, my walnut and purple heart one. The purple heart one now lives on my desk, and I can't wait to see how the wood evolves over time, as purple heart is known to change colors as it ages and is exposed to the elements. As you can see from this video, this WoodStarter Lathe was great to use, and me, as what you could definitely call a lathe beginner, was able to make those awesome bowls, pens, and chest pieces with those carbide tools. It was honestly pretty easy. Somewhat intimidating to do big bowls with a huge spinning object, but it went great. No issues whatsoever. Now for a twist on this tool, you can add another tool to share this motor and power some motorless attachment. WoodStarter sent me this grinding wheel, which will be amazing to sharpen my stainless steel gouges, as well as chisels. You simply lock it on the left here, and now the lathe powers it. Make sure to absolutely secure the lathe area and keep it empty of stock before you do this, of course. Other tools they offer for this are a belt sander and a rotary attachment, which is basically like having a super powerful Dremel on its side. This is a cool addition, and as I have no self-contained grinder, I'll definitely be using this attachment often. The positives of this lathe are its 1 HP motor and massive 18 by 12 inch capacity, which for a desktop lathe is pretty big if you ask me. Definitely plenty for my use. The adjustability is great. With an indicator of the current speed, you don't need to guess to get repeated results. The power on this was beyond my need. The precise controls and tight tool rest lock make using this great, and the massive capacity is awesome. Check out the description for all the links to the stuff I used in this video. I'll definitely be putting out some content with this lathe, so if you want more of that, like and subscribe. See you next time for builds and reviews of all sorts. Thanks for watching.